Welcome back to another episode of Organizing Tune-Ups with your host, Jessica Littman, the Organized Mama, where we break down big organizing concepts into small, bite-sized chunks you can do in your home every day for 5 to 15 minutes. Today's episode is all about toys. This one is another big topic because, well, toys pile up all the time. They can get super out of control, and as the kids grow, the toy situation changes. So there is no set way in order to organize them. There are ways in which you can build an organizing system that will grow with your kid. And that is what we are going to talk about today. How to create an organizing system for toys that will grow with them as their toy interests change. And the biggest piece, we have to start by looking at the amount of toys we actually have. I truly believe that less is more when it comes to toys, and I have a story about that. So my son, when he was a toddler, he loved trains. He had a train track that could go into two different, train configurations. And my husband saw it and was like, okay, he loves this. We need more. We need more tracks. We need more tracks. And I was like, no, we don't. This track is perfect. He plays with it consistently and he's enjoying what he's playing with. So I don't want to change it. We don't need to add more. He was very much like, but he likes it, so we should invest more in this type of toy for him. Well, a couple of days later, my son decided he wanted to create this really ginormous train track on the floor. So he took the train tracks, and then when he ran out, he got creative, and he's a toddler, mind you. He got creative and started using other things like magnetiles to create this really cool train track with a bridge, because he was obsessed with bridges, and created this bridge, made this amazing creation for his trains. And when my husband got home from work, he saw it and was like, okay, this is really cool. And this wouldn't have happened if we would have had more train tracks. So really in the toy department, less is more, because it allows your kids to build more creativity, which is what you want anyways. So just remind yourself, if you're like, oh, they're really into this type of toy, that's good. They are going to get creative with it in a different way. So you don't need all the toys. I also have another story about overconsumption of toys. And that is, I had a client whose kid was in elementary school, was really into the Hot Wheels. So the dad bought, I think it was 1,000-piece track from somebody on Facebook. And it sat wrapped up for years. When I came to help organize, the mom was like, he bought this track because he liked playing with the Hot Wheels and their small track, he enjoyed that. But once he got the big track, it became too overwhelming for him. And that word that she used really resonated with me, because that's what it is. When you have too many toys for kids, they get overwhelmed. They get overstimulated. That word really resonated with me because the overwhelm of too many toys is so real. And you can see this in kids when they say, I'm bored, I have nothing to do, or they just kind of look dysregulated, where they bounce around from thing to thing and just make a total mess because they don't have a plan. They aren't able to use some of their basic executive functioning skills, like planning what to do, because the amount of stimulation and toys is too much. So less is more in the toy department. When you remove excess toys and only keep the ones that they play with, then you're going to group the toys based on how they play with them together. So there's two ways that you can group toys. One way is to group them based on how they play. So if they do cars, trucks, and magnetiles together, you can put them all in a bin together. Or you can group them just by specific type of toy. It depends on quite a few things: how your kid plays with them, how many kids you have, and how the room or space that the toys are in can function. So looking at those three things, that's how you're going to build your system. I've had quite a few families that have grouped toys based on how the kids play with them together because they're limited on storage space. So by keeping, 3 types of toy creations together, then they are eliminating a lot of the excess storage that they might need because of their space. Where I've had others who have kids at varying age levels, so they keep the toys separate based on the needs of the kids, because not all the kids play with the toys the same way. So look at your space and look at how your kids play with the toys, and then that's how you should group the toys in your space. And then by doing that, you are going to be able to create a system in your toy area, playroom, play space, whatever you call it. And then you're going to be able to build an organizing system by grouping toys together based on how the kids play with them. And then as they stop playing with a type of toy, you are able to remove it and replace it with toys that they do play with. So that's how you are going to set up your space. Now, if this is like super overwhelming, you're like, I don't even know where to start, I have playroom organizing and design plans that walk you through this process and really focus on getting your space organized with systems that grow with your kiddos. So as toys, as the kids stop playing with a type of toy, you can then replace it with a different type of toy that they play with. Or you can just kind of reorganize what's in that bin. Maybe the kids aren't playing with the trains anymore, but they're still playing with the Magnetiles in the cars. So you can remove the trains from that one bin, and then now you have more room for other types of cars or trucks that they might be into, and remove the trains because they no longer play with them. And that's how you develop a system where you go through once a month, once a week, maybe, once a quarter, and go through and organize that space so that it benefits your kids. They are able to find what they need and really limit the amount of toys that you have. So your goal is to remove the unnecessary toys. These are things the kids don't play with, or if you just have excess of things, you can remove it from the play area and then create a system where you swap out toys daily, weekly, or monthly, however you want to go about doing it. And then you reduce the amount of clutter in your toy space. I'll see you in the next one.